For everybody who don't know, this is Val, the hostess with the mostest, hashtag goals for real. And if you haven't experienced Val in your life, you're going to want to find a way to experience Val in your life. So she's the mama who knows everything. So do what she says and listen to what she do. Okay, love you. Bye.
I love you guys. I'm like nervous to be on here tonight. I don't even know why. I think I'm just like so excited. You know, it's like you guys are like my grandbabies and my great grandbabies. So it's just really cool. And I always feel honored when one of my coaches asks me to host a team call. And I'm like, yes, I would love to. So, you know, guys, I'm just like super honored to be here speaking with you guys tonight. But ultimately, like, I know that Kelsey, you know, we always do our fun little accolades and all that stuff, you know, the big highlight reel, right? But I just want to remind every single one of you that I am a mom first. I am a mom of 3 girls, 12, 10, and 2. Okay, so I mean, the preteen ages are crazy right now with girls. I am a wife to my high school sweetheart. His name is Dustin, and he was in the Navy for 14 years. Body. You know, no guaranteed level of success or income. You know, all the disclaimers that we have, but we were able to retire him from the Navy. It's been 4 years ago now, which is crazy. I have been a coach for 6.5 years, and when I started this business, I had no idea what any of this meant. All that I knew was I was military, so I could sign up for free, like the coach opportunity for free. I had about 15 to 20 pounds that I just needed to lose for my own sanity, for my own comfort, that I just felt like disgusting about myself. And my husband and I, we had ironically done P90X when it first came out, which has been 12.5 years ago. That was the very first at-home program I ever experienced. And it was right after I had my first daughter, Lola. And my husband, I can still remember so vividly him saying, hey, I saw this infomercial with this program that looks awesome. We should get it and do it in the garage together, since, you know, while the baby sleeps. And he was like, it's only, I think it was $150 at the time. He's like, it's only $150. And I'm like, we are 22 years old and live on your one military income. Like, no way in heck. We cannot afford $150. Like, no. So it's crazy about that is it showed up on our doorstep a week later because he called us mom, and it was right around Father's Day. So he's like, Mom, it's my first Father's Day. You totally need to buy this. This is what I want. So she bought it for us. And within about 3 or 4 weeks, I started to notice a difference not only in my physical appearance, but my mental state as well. So that was my first experience with Beachbody, not knowing way back then that God was preparing me long ago for the journey that I was gonna, you know, really embark on. And then, ironically enough, enter Beachbody again after I had my second baby, Maddie. I saw the infomercial called Turbo Fire, and I don't know if any of you guys have experienced Turbo Fire before, but if you haven't, you need to go into your Beachbody On Demand, find Turbo Fire, and do one of their workouts at some point over the next month, okay? Because it is just such a mood booster, probably hands down my favorite program ever. But that's what helped me kick my own butt back into shape after I had Maddie. Again, still knowing nothing about the coaching opportunity, just did it for my own fun. And then I was the one, I would like tell people this, like I was involved in a MOPS group and I was involved with, you know, community stuff. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, you guys totally have to go get Turbo Fire. Like all these things, I would just talk about it. Continue to fast forward in life to 2013 when one of those girls who was in my MOPS group way back when messaged me and she was like, hey, I remember you talking about how much you love Turbo Fire. Have you ever thought about becoming a Beachbody coach? And I was like, oh, wait, that's like one of those scam things, right? Like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. She was like, I'm a coach. Like, you're the one who talked me into doing this 3 years ago. And I was like, you know, again, I was the biggest skeptic, closed-minded person on the planet. So long story short, this girl, guys, she followed up with me I want to say it was 36 times. I kept saying, okay, yeah, I'll sign up. And then she would send me the next message the next day. Hey, did you get the link? My reason, after like the 15th follow-up, you guys, my main reason why I wasn't even signing up was because my husband was deployed. So by the time that nighttime rolled around and I sat on the couch, I was like dead to the world. So any of you guys who have like, 2, 3-year-olds, you're just so freaking tired that when your butt hits the couch, you don't feel like moving. And I'm that girl that keeps my purse in the car. So I never wanted to go out to get my purse from the car. Like that was ultimately it. So this is just kind of like, I always share this in a story because I want you guys to realize, had she not followed up with me 30 some times, God knows where my life would be. And the fact too that sometimes those follow-ups really are just people who are like, I'm just freaking exhausted. Like that's the only reason. Okay. So long story short, finally signed up and thought the girl would stop messaging me because I was like, fine, I finally signed up for this thing, even though I still didn't really believe in it, whatever. Got on a call that she sent me this link to, like our Monday night calls, like these calls. And she just kept saying, you got to get on. Like, you'll be so inspired. You'll love this. I got on, and that was the call that started to change my life forever. It was my coach now. So my upline coach, by the way, she is no longer a coach anymore. So it was like someone who literally had like just become a coach, and it was like an old acquaintance, and she was one of Melanie Mitro's personally sponsored coaches. So she signed me up, and literally within like a month, she was gone. Like she didn't do anything. So there I was. Really, I was out in left field. I had our big team calls like we do for Legacy and all that, but I didn't have a direct upline who told me what to do, who helped me, who reached out to me, who taught me about Success Club, who taught me about rank advancing. Everything I learned really came from the National Wake Up Call and getting on our Monday night team calls. And I treated those calls as if they were my real job, like a conference call that my boss said, you cannot miss this call or you will be fired. So I quickly started to turn my mindset after that very first call. And I was like, I heard Melanie talking about, she was a mom of 2 and her kids were about the same age as my kids. And at one point in the call, she talked about her income. And she was like, I make about $2,000 a week with this. And I've been a coach for 3 years. Like my jaw hit the floor. And my life like came rushing through my brain like, oh my God. Like for me, if I could make $200 a month, that was my big, crazy, wouldn't it be crazy cool? This will be worth it. It's going to be great. Like I'll take people on this journey. I'll start to get out of my comfort zone. But then the thought that put in my head just what the potential of this business truly must be. At 3 years in and she's making $2,000 a week without bonuses. That was where like my dreams started to become a little bit more front focused, I guess, like where I could say, okay, I'm going to allow myself to start thinking, what would this income, if I would work really, really hard, what could it do for my family, right? Because income equals freedom to me. Income would mean my husband being able to not have to re-enlist in the Navy. And I knew that we had a 3-year window. So for me, like that 3 years almost was a sign. I was like, wow, 3 years and she was making that. My husband either re-enlist in the Navy in 3 years or he could have the choice to get out. We've never had the choice before then. We always had to because it was the only income that we had, right? So, thinking about that, and I was like, wow, what if the possibilities, we could pay off the debt that we were in. I could provide a life to my kids where I wouldn't have to say no. So I started to attach this why factor that we always talk about, and this belief and this consistency and this servant leadership mentality really started to like come out in me because I made that my priority. So after reading my very first personal development book, it was called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, changed my whole vision, my whole perspective. That was like the holy grail of my business foundation, was really where it was. And I was like, I want to be a servant leader. I want to use my platform for good. I want to create a story and just see what happens. And I gave myself this gut check where it was like, I'm not going to be the notorious quitter anymore because that's who I was. It took me a really long time in this business to gain trust from people who knew me before I started this business, because most of my family and friends knew that I was just like I'd get excited about something, I would start, and then within a few weeks I would quit. I mean, it took me 8.5 years to graduate college with a bachelor's degree in sports medicine, okay, because I changed my major literally like every other semester. I'm not kidding. So, my parents, they were super proud, right? And then especially when I'm like, okay, I'm going to become a top network marketer. And they were like, my dad's like, oh my God, just be careful. Like, seriously. Like, it's just that it was just the people who didn't believe in me. They didn't believe in me. My husband, though, like, biggest supporter, love him. He's the one. He's always been like, go ahead. Like, I'll support you. Do whatever you want to do. But never in a million years did he actually think that this would become what I envisioned, and literally started talking myself through every single day. Okay. So, obviously then, all through this business, and really what it has brought to us has just been this passion that has really developed. And I've created a purpose-driven business, is what I like to say. And that is what my vision is for our entire team, for you guys, for this, life. This business has become part of who I am. And I never realized that would be what it would entail and what it would come to, because at first, obviously, it's just like, oh my gosh, I have to message random people. Oh my goodness, I have to post on social media. Like, those were the biggest scary things for me ever, that I almost let the start stop me, because I didn't want to have to share my life on social media. I was scared. I was scared to open a PayPal account. I was scared to put my, credit card number in anywhere. Like, I was one of those people, like, I was just scared of the next step in life. So I would use it to challenge myself. And I said, there's no plan B. Like, and I do think, guys, I want you to really listen to this. I think that in order to be successful with this business in a way where you're here in 5 years, you're here with that longevity mindset, you're making an income that surpasses that few $100s a month. Like, you're making a genuinely great income. I'm going to say even 50K or higher with this business. You have to go all in with this business and not give yourself a plan B. Like, that's really what it comes down to. You have to somehow convince yourself in your mind that your back is against the wall, even if it's not, even if you have a full-time job, even if you have no debt, even if you are secure in whatever way you are. If you want this to succeed, you have to attach your will and your desire and your deep-rooted why to something bigger that will keep you rooted and moving forward. Maybe it's a retirement plan. Maybe it's buying a vacation home. Maybe it's giving and serving in your community and through your church. Maybe it's, to be able to leave your kids trust funds. Maybe it's, I don't know. But sometimes I feel like there's a correlation with sometimes people will be like, well, I don't need the money. Okay, that's great. But I feel like we all in some way want more. We all in some way could give more, could do this if you're attaching your purpose to your business, right? And being that consistent piece where people are going to be able to see and say, oh, wow, Katie is so consistent. Like, I know I'm going to go to her page every single day at 8 a.m. and she's going to have a post. I know at noon, I'm going to see a recipe of the day post from her on her social media or on her stories. I know what to expect from her. I had to adapt to that. Back in my day, we had to post 5 times a day on Facebook, right? Like 5 actual long posts was like the thing way back then. So, I adapted to that, and I started to really make sure that was who I was. I knew that even though in the very beginning, 1 like from my mom, that was all that I was getting, but it started to grow, because every day I was like, okay, I would sit down and make a list. And this is a great tip for you guys. If you already haven't done this or you don't do this, I want you to just pull out a notebook when you're sitting there watching The Bachelor or whatever, and you just start writing down what season of life you are in. Are you a mom? Are you a sports mom? What nights of the week are you at sports practices? When are the games? How old are your kids? Are they picky eaters? Does your husband like what you cook? Does your husband not like what you cook? Do you enjoy working out? Do you not enjoy working out? If you do, what kind of workouts are you liking? Just what is your favorite TV show? What is your favorite food? I want you to just start to legit write out all of these things about you and your life. because that is who you are speaking to. That is your market. That is the moms or the women, or maybe you're a bride to be. Maybe you need to like think about more bridal boot camps. And Katie, are you bride to be? I just see you do this. See, like these are things. What's your favorite brides magazine? What does your wedding look like? What are you doing? When is your wedding date? What are you doing leading up to this? What are your pain points in life? Write all of these things out. This is who you're speaking to. This is what you're talking about. These are your posts. These are like what you can form into challenge groups, and these are what can like help turn your challengers to working coaches. All of these little things, these are the big things. So I would sit there and I would think, okay, well, I'm in the season of life where I'm a stay-at-home mom, military wife. My husband's deployed a lot. So I knew like a lot of my avenue was going to be military spouses. I knew my kids were picky eaters, so I had to figure out recipes where I could trick them into eating vegetables when they didn't know that they were actually eating vegetables. So I knew that moms like me who had toddlers were going through the same thing. So just for instance, I can remember, I think it was honestly probably the first 6 months to a year in my business, every single day around 10 or 11 in the morning, I put up a post of a recipe. Every day. And I'm not saying you guys have to go and do this. This is just 6.5 years ago, Val. This was part of that predictably consistent. And here's why I did it around like right before lunchtime. I knew a lot of my audience were working moms. I knew a lot of my audience were stay-at-home moms. So what is a typical thing that moms do, whether you work outside the home or you're a stay-at-home mom working inside the home? We usually go to the grocery store right before nap time so we can tire the kids out, which is typically between that 10 and 11. Or if you're a working mom and you get a lunch break, most of the time they were going to run to the grocery store during their lunch break or right after work on their way home. So I wanted to give them something that would prepare them. That's basically called freemiums. Anything that you can provide your audience with that is free content that's just like advice or something good, that builds trust. Think about that. Like who you follow. Do you follow bloggers? Do you follow other people for advice, marriage tips, like all of that? Who is it that you are talking to? I think that can be such a disconnect when we're trying to build a business and then we feel like we're just spiraling out of control because it's like, well, who are you talking to? I don't know. I'm just trying to post. Well, this is a really great thing to narrow down and be like, oh, okay, it's not that difficult when I have kind of a list that I'm working from and I know I'm pretty much talking to me, but it can't just be that superficial. I work out every day at 5 o'clock. Here's my sweaty selfie. That doesn't get us anywhere. That may be accountability, which is great, but a deeper meaning. I did not want to get up. I hate working out. I know plenty of successful coaches in this business who hate working out. They do Beachbody because it's quick and easy and effective. They're not like die-hard workout people, right? You're allowed to not enjoy working out and still be a great coach. Share that piece, right? But you do it because you know your body needs it and you have goals. So, you know, all of these things, it's just when I started, and I'm certain that when you started, you know, I knew I had a love of a program and I knew that I needed to help myself. And in turn, I really like helping people. So I was like, that we all come in saying, whenever someone says, why did you become a coach? Because I want to help people. I did it. I'm sure every one of you guys were probably said it too. That's really great. But then it kind of starts to progress, right? My mission has evolved with my career as a coach. And I say it's a career because I have made it into a career, and I made it into a career from the second I decided I want to be like Melanie Mitro. I want to be like the top coaches, earning that kind of money because I knew it would mean something bigger for my family. I knew it meant my husband would have that option to get out of the military. I knew it could pay off our debt. I knew it could provide us to the point that when my kids would come to me and ask, hey, can I have ice skating lessons? Can I take violin lessons? I really want to do this. The thing that ripped my heart out back then was thinking about the now, that where we're at in life, and me having to tell my kids, no, you can't do that. We don't have any money. Or, we can't afford that. I grew up hearing that, and I never wanted to do that to my kids. And I say that very, very much so where, if my kids comes and ask me for $100 pair of jeans, I'm going to say no. It's like that, but it's experiences. It's things that maybe they're going to be the next ice skater for the Olympics. I want them to be able to have the life that could potentially lead to something bigger and their own purpose, and let them figure that out. So that was really like my big mission behind that, because I'm not the same person that I was whenever I started. I have definitely turned myself into this person I wanted to become. And it's just every day going through the hardships of this business, defining my work ethic. Guys, like, I have worked my ass off for this. Okay. We talk about being in the trenches, and we talk about being able to build this business in 1 to 2 hours a day. And absolutely, the foundation of this business and earning an income can 1,000,000% be done in that 1 to 2 hours a day, doing this little sheet here that you will never see me stop doing every single day, your business activity tracker. Okay. But the extras, really, like, I want to do more. I don't want to just send 10 invites. I want to send 50 to 100. I want to send more. I want to get more comfortable and confident talking about the coaching opportunity. I want to add in nighttime calls with my team that maybe didn't exist yet, but I wanted to add in like a 15-minute power call with my challengers to make them feel connected. I wanted to learn how to do a blog. I wanted to, always be learning. And that took more time. So I was up at, some nights until midnight, 1 a.m, got up early. So I sacrificed a lot of sleep, so I didn't sacrifice time with my kids. And I think that that's where so much we just kind of forget that this is a business, I think is what I'm trying to say. Where at entrepreneurship, you see the highlights. You see us celebrating our rank advancements, right? Kelsey's in 2-star qual. Laura's 1-star qual. We have amazing growth happening. That's the highlights. But behind the scenes, we're all checking. I'm 11-star qual, like crazy. We're all checking our back office. We are all 10xing our businesses right now. And this is where, perk up your ears, take some notes, understand that you are all part of this entire mission of what we're doing right now. Okay, no one can drop rank when we are in a qualification. Emeralds matter, ruby matters, diamond matters, star diamonds matter, like it all matters. So what you should be doing, especially in these qualification periods, is 10xing your business. If you're normally sending 5 invites a day, send 10 or 15. If you're not signing everyone up as a discount coach right out the gate, you need to sign everyone up as a discount coach right out the gate, so you're not freaking out about, oh my gosh, so-and-so canceled or postponed their order. I don't know what I'm going to do. That is the worst feeling as a coach, as the one who is going through, maybe the qualification. And then even as the coach who's like part of the team, right? I've been on both ends of the spectrum where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't drop my rank because it's going to affect my coach and all of this. Where these are like the behind the scenes things where we are just constantly moving our business forward. So, I'm just going to encourage you guys to really be mindful of that. And if you have any questions about it, ask Kelsey, ask myself, ask Laura, ask, anyone on the team, like, hey, what does this mean? Right? Because we want you to understand that in order to grow a substantial business and make this work and continue to grow, rank matters, Success Club matters, consistency matters, discipline, grit, right? Like, we have to help ourselves. And in order to do that, we have to continuously be in this growth mindset of there's just no option to not hit the goal and keep moving forward. So really, I looked back, over my income right before I got on this call, because sometimes it's crazy to just think, you see all of these crazy things, but my first paycheck was $120, okay? I sold 2 challenge packs, and it got me actually choked up because my very first challenge pack I ever sold, which I don't think I even realized this, I've never looked at this until right now, was my best friend Candace Olin. She was my first challenge pack. Yeah, like I'm about to cry. I don't know why I'm about to cry. I don't get emotional very much, but she is my best friend. She's the only friend pre-Beachbody that ever stuck this out with me. The only one. She's a 5-star diamond on this team now. But we've walked this walk together. And then the other one was a girl, her name's Kim Gachera. She's still a lifer. And I looked at my next one. It was a few other names. They're my lifers. They're still ordering things off and on with me. Yes, let's repeat, Kelsey. I just saw that, Laura and Kelsey. Like, it's really awesome when you can find a best friend and like do this together. Okay, holding hands, pulling each other, motivating. Like, it doesn't always work out that way, but it's pretty cool whenever it does. But I looked at that and I was like, man, I had my very first challenge group. I didn't run my challenge group with my upline. I did it all on my own. I had no idea what I was doing, but I opened up a group because I'm like, I want my people to be my people, right? Like, I don't want them to be in with another coach who they don't know. So I remember my very first challenge group, I had 6 people in it. Candace was one, this other Kim, a girl named Brittany, my mom, my mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law. Okay, they were all in my first challenge group, and I just did it. I just posted in there because I was also trying to get my results too. Because remember, I signed up as a coach at the same time as I was a challenger. So I was trying to get my results. Sorry if you hear screaming. My kids are, being kids. But as I progressed, these people became my best friends. And this is where my mission really started, because then that love of my challenge group, I converted them to coaches, right? So when we're talking about recruiting, don't let that be a scary thing. Like when I'm posting, if you go to my page and you see me posting about, coaching, it might be a direct invite. It might be like little snippets of, I'm so thankful I started this because it's brought me my best friends, or income, or this or that. I'm actually posting that thinking of my challenges in my challenge group. I'm not just throwing spaghetti against the wall. I'm not just trying to recruit some Joe Schmo off the street. I am posting that, talking to, Kelsey in my challenge group, who I rolled me 9 million times before she finally joined me, right? I'm talking to them because I already have a relationship with them. So when you're talking to someone specific, it's like they know, right? It's like, okay, it becomes more curiosity. And that's just how I have honestly built my business. And I am not that person who recruits, like, you might get on calls and hear these coaches who recruit like 20, 30, 40 people in a month and scares the crap out of you, because it did that to me. I've never recruited more. I think my highest recruiting month one time in my whole 6.5 years was 14 people, and they were probably all discount coaches that month. It was like a launch, okay? My average is 5 to 8 coaches a month. That is discount. That might be a few in there who's saying that they're going to work the business. But I want you guys to see I'm totally real. I'm not that coach who's hitting Success Club 100. I love doing our leaderboards where I'm seeing, rock stars rocking it out at Success Club 30, 40, 50, 60 plus. My picture's not up there. Not that I believe that I can't. I 100% believe that I can. You guys all can. Like, we believe what we tell ourselves always. But I'm just saying, I know what my goals are. And my goals have always been Success Club 10 to 20, because I know that can build in freaking insane business. But then I also know I need to build a team. So you guys on this call, I know that you all want to build. I know you would not be on this call if you were here to just like dabble in this. I want you to understand, building a team is where it matters. And I've always had this little diagram here, and I like had it drawn out here a little bit. It's like Success Club, right? And I know we have an image of it, but it's literally this like wheelhouse, and it's Success Club, then rank advance, then teach your coaches to hit Success Club, and then teach your coaches to rank advance. Like, that is this whole system that I just kind of like implanted in my head. And I was like, okay, well, this month I want to have one of my personally sponsored coaches hit Success Club with me. So I would just focus on that one person and really work on, invites and talking through conversations with people. And it's just how I've learned. I've learned by falling flat on my face, ultimately. I've learned by stopping the lies that I was telling myself, and by literally just doing it and learning from every single mistake, every single win, all of the things. And that's how growth, it just inevitably happens. Okay. So, I don't know, other than anyone who wants to do this can 1,000,000% do this. I am the mom who was frumpy, who was negative, who made fun of people, who posted on Facebook before I started this business. I was jealous. I thought I was the why me person through life. And I was not anyone who I like anything like I am today, but it takes very much intention. It takes habits that are formed by discipline that then become part of who you are. And that's just really what I feel like this business, when I'm not here just over here spitting, cow poop out of my mouth saying, this business changed my life. Like, this business is my life because it has changed every piece of who I am, of my beliefs, of my decisions, of my work ethic, of my family life, of being able to manage my time, which is probably the hardest thing for me that I've ever done, is honestly doing the whole time management thing, because you always say, we all have 24 hours in a day. It's literally learning how to manage it. And that was my biggest hardship. And now again, it's work, but anyone can do this. It's just blocking out time to make this work if it's important and it becomes a purpose and a mission for you too. So I am always here for questions, but I want to give you guys this dare challenge. I'm going to call it a dare. And I actually wrote it out so I can show you as I read it to you. I'll show you after. But I dare you to dedicate the next 6 months exclusively to your goals. No announcements, just fall back and do the freaking work, okay? That is my big thing. I wrote it out because I did not want to forget to say this. 6 months. 6 months, okay? Of late nights, of early mornings.
Say it one more time, because OCD over here wants to make sure I wrote it down.
Are you gonna write it? I'll tell you. I dare you to dedicate the next 6 months exclusively to your goals. No announcements. Just fall back and do the work. All right? Because that's what it takes. That's what it takes. It takes work. It takes, a whole lot of concealer, a whole lot of bright lights. Because Mama's got wrinkles from this business, I promise. It's been beyond worth it. And for some of you who maybe don't know the rest of this story, this business paid off $140,000 worth of debt in 19 months. We ate a whole lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that were probably not in the meal plan. We ate a whole lot of cheap stuff, stopped going out to eat. But my husband and I, right before this all began and came to fruition, we realized that, the $200 a month payment and the $500 a month student loan payment and this and that, it all equaled up to $140,000, and we were scared crapless. Okay, we had creditors calling. I was scared to be home by myself while he was on deployment because I was just waiting for someone to come and try to take our car away. That is the position that we were in. So I used this, and that's where my back went against that wall. And we paid that off in 19 months, which then led us to that next decision 3 years in. Is he going to get out or is he going to stay in? And God is just so amazing. And he literally just guides the way when we trust in him. Because we came to this point where we were scared. We were going to just re-enlist because it would be easy, right? He wouldn't have to do deployments in that next 3 years. So we were being promised. Anyone who's in the military knows what these quotes mean, because you never know when you're in the military. But we were being promised that we weren't going to have to deploy in the next 3 years. So we were like, okay, we'll just re-enlist. It'll just be safe. Well, then we found out if we re-enlisted, we were going to have to move to Japan for 3 years. And we were like, this is God's sign. We have to trust him. We have to trust that this is his plan. And in this entire process, we have grown together. We have hit a whole lot of hardships, and which have turned into triumphs. And now, this past September, I was inducted into the Millions Club with Team Beachbody. God, why do I cry over all this stuff? I never in a million years thought I could do this. So you guys are just the biggest blessing, and I think that's why I get all nervous, because I know I'm going to freaking cry whenever it's on a small team call, but this means everything to me. And if I can touch one person's life, that's why you'll never see me stop posting. You'll never see me stop running challenge groups. I actually get super pissed when coaches tell me, oh, I haven't ran a challenge group for 3 months. I'm like, you're dumb. This is what changes people's lives, okay? And anyone can do this. And it feels like this craziest dream sometimes. And, one of the coolest things, I talked about this whole being able to give our kids just experiences and do fun things, and it just I'm going to end with this fun little story because we talked about going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee forever, and we just never did it. So on a whim, we just decided this past week we were going to go rent a cabin. Like, who does this? Like, this was not 6 years ago. We would never be able to be like, let's just rent a cabin for 6 days and just go somewhere. Like, our vacations were like to our parents' house because we lived far away from them. Like, that was who we were. So we rented a cabin, and my kids like dream, they have wanted to go skiing, and I have actually never been skiing either. So like that in and of itself, like we rented a cabin. And we skied for 2 days, like, and they loved it. They fell in love. They keep asking for more. And I'm like, these are the simplest things, but mean so much to us because my kids got to experience something that without this business, I promise you, like, we would not have been able to. I would have been stressed out so badly because it's not cheap. And, you know, it's just not something that we would continue to pursue or anything. You know, so it was just, I don't know, they just can't stop talking about it and they want to go back. And it's just like, these are the experiences. These are the family things. This is what, you know, money means experiences, and it means being able to do things to create memories. It's not about, for me, it's not about let's go flash anything off. It's my family is my priority in every sense of the word. And leaving a legacy for my children and my children's children, that's where we're at. So anyways, I will wrap it up. It's been 30 minutes of me chit-chatting. Please pretend like we're sitting around having a cup of coffee or cocktails and margaritas, whatever. You guys can unmute. You feel free to chit-chat. I hope this is helpful.
Thank you. I love it. I love it. Exactly what we needed. Exactly what we needed.
Perfect.
Y'all have any questions? Anything? Ready to
love
work?
Smiling faces.
Do it. We have to take a picture.
I know. I was just grabbing my phone to do that. All right. I'm going to take a picture. Smile. Kelsey, smile. So cute. I love it. All right. Let's post it all on IG. All right. Give some people some FOMO. Make them want to join our teams, right? All right, guys. Well, I am always around. My inbox is always open. So thank you so much for being on. And I will go ahead and get the recording over to you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, my gosh. Absolutely.
Thanks,
for sure. Bye, guys.